everybody now knows that Reddit is instrumental in delivering those answers. And so everybody's trying to infiltrate Reddit. And boy, oh boy, is a war shaping up between people preserving the integrity of Reddit and the marketers who want to infiltrate it. And it's just a really interesting time.
It is interesting.
Yeah,
Super interesting.
it really is. And I would also say, so it's interesting, I think, to pay attention to those media deals. For instance, another one with OpenAI who's been very aggressive. They've done a media deal with Axios, and I think the centerpiece of that deal is they're going to be doing, starting at least with local content in 4 markets, 4 trial markets to start. So, I think that's really important is to research and figure out where those LLMs are getting their news, where they have those deals, and bake that into your media strategy.
Can I ask a question about how you see young talent in the comm space and PR space right now? Because I know that there's been some studies that show there's something like, I don't know, the first 2 or 3 years, typically when students are out of college, those jobs that they would have are kind of being erased by AI across various industries. I'm hearing that all the time. But when I look at what's actually happening at my agency and what you've described as the things you've been using AI for, those don't really sound like super junior tasks. And in fact, the slide presentation stuff, all the things you mentioned seem more like at least middle management to senior management type tasks. So are you fearful or optimistic about the young folks considering getting into comms or getting into PR against the backdrop of what you've seen and done in the AI space?
Well, I think it's a mistake. I know that there are agencies who have said that they plan that part of how they're planning their roadmap with AI is to reduce their reliance on junior staff. And I think that's a mistake. And I'll just be completely honest. I never thought that we in the comms industry knew how to deploy junior staff in the first place. I never thought it never made sense to me, guys, that, we'd have these armies of young people that you recruit out of the best, colleges and universities in the country. And you say, great, get up at 5 a.m. and start with media clips and all this kind of stuff. I just thought that there's a better way to analyze media than that. I didn't come up in PR. I came up in marketing and advertising, and I learned how to analyze media coverage without having to go through that process. So I know it's possible. And then, you guys have been around this business for a long time. We've also gotten in the bad habit of making them pseudo assistants and having them take notes during calls and things like that. And you don't even get to speak until you've gotten a couple of stripes on your shoulder. So I don't think we ever really knew how to deploy our young talent in the first place. It's a whole separate conversation about us not knowing how to deploy senior talent either. But I think give them meatier things to do. Yes, take some of those rote tasks off their plate. Use AI to accelerate the process of media coverage. But how about have them start doing analysis, right? It's never too early to train their brains to be able to be good media analysts, right? What are you seeing? What are the threads? What are the through lines? What do you think is the implication? That's what clients want. They could get the clips themselves, right?
Well,
they want to know what to do with them.
Now AI makes it so you don't have to do any clipping. You just have the data. What are you going to do with the data, right?